Okay, let's continue reading a little bit more. We have finished reading this paragraph yesterday for the refuge in the Buddha to be genuine, and then we ended at, it is this readiness to recognize the Buddha as the unsurpassed trainer of persons to be tamed, the teacher of gods and humans. That is the hallmark of an authentic act of taking refuge in the Buddha. The Buddha serves as a refuge by teaching the Dhamma. The actual and final refuge embedded within the Dhamma as refuge is Nibbana, the deathless element, free from clinging, the sorrowless state that is void of stain. From Iti Futaka 51. The Dhamma as refuge comprises the final goal, the path that leads to that goal, and the body of teachings that explain the practice of the path. The Buddha as refuge has no capacity to grant us liberation by an act of will. He proclaims the path to be traveled and the principles to be understood. The actual work of walking the path is then left to us, his disciples. Yeah, I think this line is important. The Buddha as refuge has no capacity to grant us liberation by an act of will, because if we can, everyone will have been liberated by now. But the fact that we are still here means that we ourselves have to walk the path on our own. Okay, next paragraph, Sister Choi Kon, would you like to read?
The proper response to the Buddha as refuge is trust and confidence. Trust is required because the doctrine taught by the Buddha runs counter to our inner understanding of ourselves and our natural orientation toward the world. To accept this teaching thus tends to arouse an inner resistance, even to provoke a rebellion against the changes it requires us to make in the way we lead our lives. But when we place trust in the Buddha, we open ourselves to his guidance. By going to him for refuge, we show that we are prepared to recognize that our inherent tendencies to self-affirmation and grasping are in truth the cause of our suffering. And we are ready to accept his counsel that to become free from suffering, this tendency must be controlled and eliminated.
Thanks, Sister Choi Kon. Then this line is, by going to him for refuge, we show that we are prepared to recognize that our inherent tendencies to self-affirmation, and our tendencies to give in to desires and grasping are, in truth, the cause of suffering. To become free from suffering, we have to be ready to accept his counsel that these tendencies must be controlled and eliminated. The last paragraph about Sister Billy, would you like to read?
Confidence in the Buddha as our refuge is initially awakened when we contemplate his sublime virtues and his excellent teaching. It grows through our undertaking of the training. At first, while confidence in the Buddha may be hesitant, punctured by doubts and perplexity. But as we apply ourselves to the practice of his path, we find that our defilements gradually lessen, that wholesome qualities increase, and with this comes a growing sense of freedom, peace, and joy. This experience confirms our initial trust, disposing us to advance a few steps further when at last we see the truth of the Dharma for ourselves. The refuge in the Buddha becomes inviolable. Confidence then becomes conviction, the conviction that the Blessed One is the speaker, the proclaimer, the bringer of the good, the giver of the deathless, the Lord of the Dharma, the Tathagata.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's take a look at this one. I think it's inviolable.
Inviolable.
Never to be broken, infringed or dishonored. Inalienable, absolute, untouchable. The refuge in the Buddha becomes untouchable. These few lines actually resonates with my experience. Firstly, at first, when I started to explore Buddhism, at first, my confidence in the Buddha is hesitant, punctured by doubts and perplexity. But after I give it a try, after I try out the practice, as I apply the practice of his path, I find that my defilements gradually lessen, wholesome qualities increase, and with this comes a growing sense of freedom, peace, and joy. And because of this, my experience that my quality of life improved in general because I tried out the teachings of the Buddha. My experience confirmed my trust, and then making me advance a few steps further. I think it's like a nice feedback loop to keep me going on with the path. That concludes our reading, our short reading of this essay. Any questions or comments from any of you?
I think for many people, not most people, when we first approach the Buddhism or the practice of Dharma, we don't practice as in the true sense of the word practice, but many of us go in with a lot of ignorance and possibly with a way of seeing maybe wrong view, like you can call that wrong view, with a way of seeing the Buddha as an external God that we pray to. I mean, that's how we get attracted in the first place, because it's so natural to want to depend on someone outside for help or for salvation, so to speak. And it is only when conditions ripen that we get deeper insight as to, hey, actually, it's not like that, and then we decide to go on the path. But for many people also, the journey of seeing Buddha as an external God, like Christian God, continues for the rest of their lives. So I think for those of us who understand a bit more, we are really very blessed, to be able to create enough causes and conditions to get on the path, right? If you are standing on the gate looking at Buddha as an external God, like any other gods, like whatever, somehow it's like you never started. Yeah, but I think it's still better than nothing. Just my insight. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Xiaomei. Our others, any comments? Okay, maybe some people are different, but initially I always dislike the idea of something as an external God. If I want to regard the Buddha as an external God, there's many other religions that already do that anyway. So I find that Buddhism is unique in this way that it's more grounded and realistic, and that it feels like we also have more control instead of relying on something external. It's something that we have to. Of course, it's also comforting if we regard something or someone that can save us eventually. Of course, it's comforting, but is it true? And that's the question. Because if it's true, then we don't have to do anything. Yeah, we just believe, and then in the end we'll get liberated. Yeah.
I think the bad news is that you got to work damn hard, whereas and many people don't realize that. Yeah, actually, practicing the Dharma can be so difficult.
Yes. If it is not difficult, then everyone will get liberated. Okay.
If I may add, I think it's because faith is important. So for many people, we should start with faith. Xing in Chinese is 信解行正, right? So we should start with faith. So I think we should never forget that Buddha is a teacher. Sometimes I do observe that I know some people, some practitioners may like somehow did hardly mention Buddha, right, as the teacher. So it's always good to follow venerables or monks and teachers who still often, regularly, or even occasionally, they always say the Buddha, refer back to Buddha as the teacher. We should have that kind of gratitude. Whether we internalize or externalize, that is our progress, I guess, but I think it's important to remember Buddha as our teacher, and therefore we follow his Dhamma, we follow the Sangha. That's my thought. Thank you.
Thanks for adding on, Sister Billy. Okay, anyone else? Actually, I'd like to ask you guys some question. We have tried both style. First, the style of committing to a certain book. We have tried that for 3 months plus. And also this recently we are going freestyle, taking short essays from here and there. Which one do you guys like better? Or which one do you think is more beneficial? Or you guys don't, doesn't matter, both are fine. Both are fine.
To me, it's really both are fine, Marcel. Thank you very much for this. But if you really ask like a preference, I don't mind a book, like a small book like the one we had. It's very, for me, it's very helpful because it just follow on, and there are a lot of things that I don't understand, and then I need to refresh. I think the book sort of guide the learning. Yeah, if you really want to choice, but I really don't mind this way as well. It's always good to start a day with Dhamma.
Thanks.
I want to add. I echo Sister Billy's views. I know what she's saying. I think for me, I enjoy both, and I attend both. I somehow think that coming from a book gives us that continuity of thinking about a particular subject. At least it does that for me. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll probably never read the book, or read the book and never remember, and then forget it like quickly. And that has the tendency with short articles.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for sharing. Okay, how about others? And it doesn't have to be 0 and 1 as well. Sometimes maybe we can also mix like maybe 5 days for a book and 2 days some random videos as well. Yeah, just to take a break from the book. Okay, how about Saikem?
I'm fine. Yeah.
You're fine with both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything will do.
For Sister Chaikon?
I think it's good to select some sutta and then we will read it like reading the book. And after that, spend a few weeks trying to discuss, after reading the book, discuss about the book and then try to search for some other material that we can further explain on that. I think it's a good idea on that, instead of just reading and then keep reading. So at least we spend some time to discuss what we have read and then search for some other material to support it or anything like that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for all of your feedback. I will consider all of your feedback and then I will decide. Meanwhile, while I'm still deciding, maybe we will still go this style for a while now. Okay, thanks a lot for the feedback. Any more comments before we end for today? Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a normal Saturday ahead. Okay, thanks everyone for participating. See you guys next time.
Thank you, Marcel. Marcel, just now that reference 51, that IVIT, what is that reference?
Iti Putaka.
Iti. What's that in Chinese? Iti Putaka.
Let me share screen for you. This one, right? I'm not sure what is it in Chinese, but this one is from Khuddaka Nikaya.
Iti Putaka. It was said.
In Chinese. Do you know Khuddaka Nikaya?
Khuddaka Nikaya. Is it Za'a Hanjing?
Khuddaka Nikaya is the 5th Nikaya, consists of minor collections. I think the Dhammapada is inside this Khuddaka Nikaya too. Yeah. So Dhammapada, Itiputaka, Udana, all these short collections are inside this.
Short collections.
Yeah.
Okay, I go and find out more. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye. Take care.